is underneath Project Blue Book was an ultra secret Project Collins Elite, the Collins Elite Project, a much deeper, much more secret investigation of the UFO and the bodies that were recovered at Roswell. Now, see, this is closer to what they look like. This is closer to what the U.S. government had in its possession in 1947, confirming what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad told them in 1942, that these were black people flying the craft. The government had the bodies of black people in 1947. Now, this triggered an ultra secret investigation. This gentleman, and in my book, I wrote a report, I published a report on Roswell, and I go into detail confirming the witnesses that say specifically the bodies recovered at Roswell were black. Now, this gentleman is important, and I will land this part of the plane here. This is Air Force Staff Sergeant Charles Brian Bosley. Air Force Staff Sergeant Charles Brian Bosley. It's very important to this narrative. He was part of a crash retrieval unit, crash and casualty retrieval unit for the Air Force, meaning whenever there's a crash, there's a unit that's dispatched to retrieve the casualties, the bodies. Regular Air Force. If there's an Air Force crash or any other crash from the sky, his unit was deployed to retrieve, in particular, the casualties, the bodies. Casualty retrieval unit he was a part of. In 1958, Staff Sergeant Charles Bosley and two of his colleagues were called to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Dayton, Ohio. Those who study Roswell know that it is at Wright-Patterson that the craft and the biological material, the bodies, were sent to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Dayton, Ohio. In 1958, Staff Sergeant Charles Bosley and two of his colleagues were routed to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base and given a briefing. They were being prepared for a specific crash retrieval mission. So they were given a briefing on Roswell. This was 1958. They were shown some of the craft material, the famous metallic foil. They were also shown the retrieved bodies during this briefing. Staff Sergeant Charles Bosley later revealed to his son, Walter Bosley, who also was intelligence in the U.S. Air Force intelligence and the FBI. He revealed to his son, Walter Bosley, and his family that according to that briefing, that 1958 briefing, the U.S. government had come to a conclusion based on their investigation, their post-Roswell investigation. Bosley said that the bodies he saw were totally human. He specifically said they looked nothing like the great aliens of Steven Spielberg's movie, Close Encounters of the Third Kind. They look nothing like the grays that became popular. And he is the third Roswell witness that specifically said the bodies that they saw look nothing like the gray aliens that have become popular. But further, Staff Sergeant Charles Bosley said that during the briefing, they were informed that the Collins Elite investigation, that ultra secret UFO investigation, revealed that the people behind the craft do not come from outer space. They come from a crypto-terrestrial and sacred terrestrial civilization. What does that mean? Bosley was informed that the people, the culture from which the Roswell people came, was a people that lived in a world inside the earth. Crypto-terrestrial, a hidden civilization that existed inside the earth itself. Bosley was told that this civilization, they are completely human in form, but they have not only advanced technology, they have advanced psychotronic power.